Back at it again. He's back. How many did you get?
A couple of dozen.
Oh, was that them there? Oh, I didn't even see them.
I could have tried a little bit.
That's a Keeney size sack. Right, time for me and Mish. We're going to go right over there. Welcome back to Bailiwick of Guernsey Shipwrecks. I'm JP Falaise and we're going to take you on a scallop dive. Now, have you ever been to a place where you remember very fondly and then when you actually get back there, it's not what you remember? Well, this is this location we've taken to. This is a sandbank around the back of Gabriel on the southern side. I remember being quite nice and sandy and quite interesting and loads of scallops. Now I've come back and it seems to be loads of rocks. Very, very hard ground. Reminds me a little bit of the scalloping up the Plat Vegere. There is stuff here, but it's very well hidden. Let's take a good look and see what we can find. Plenty of things that contribute to a decent dive, especially in scuba diving anyway. Light levels is one of them, visibility is another, water temperature is another. For some reason, in this area, it just doesn't feel very nice. I don't know, maybe it is the late evening sun. Maybe it's the fact that the seabed's kind of half black, I don't know. There's plenty of crab pots around here as well. These ain't lost, these are actually fishing. Yeah, they're wrapped around the reef, but I'm sure the fishermen will be able to pick them up okay. There's even a fish inside that one. I'm not really feeling this area, to be honest. I think we need to go a little bit deeper. There's actually some here. They're very well hidden under the seaweed. I reckon it's probably a 1 in 5 success rate here. Dragonet, quite a big one. Yeah, I reckon every 1 in 5 is big enough to take. This is one here too small. This one looks big enough. There is actually so many small ones around here. That one's probably size. If you haven't guessed already or you haven't noticed, my hands are like shovels anyway, so I make the scallops look quite small. Let's just find where Mish is. Just pointing something out. Wonder what it is. Oh, it's a little coma fish. Just laying there on the seabed. He's got some sort of parasite on his head, like a little hat. It's a friendly little fish. They normally sort of turn their back to you and swim off. He seems quite happy that we're there. Another thing that you've probably noticed in this area is full of these spider crabs. And I mean, I haven't shown you all of them. There is huge clumps of them. They all seem to have eggs underneath them. They are all females by the looks of it. Almost like zombies. A lot of them kind of just stay still when you swim past. Some of them will jump up and make a dash for it, like these two did. But there is hundreds. See, that one's carrying a load of eggs in its pouch underneath. I don't know if they're here to wait to let their eggs out, or I don't know if they go to the deep to do that. I'm not sure. But they all seem to be pregnant, or have eggs anyway. And they look like they're ready to shed. So when you get a crab, when the eggs are just been formed, they're like an orangey colour. And when they're almost ready to let go off of their swimmerettes, I think they're called swimmerettes on a crab, they let all these dark, almost grape-like berries away. Did you notice that? Cuttlefish trying to replicate the crabs. You notice he's got his little suction cups up to make him look like a crab. Really good at mimicking. Got all these female spider crab, European spider crab, and there's huge clumps of these all over the area. I think the females get more aggressive when they are holding eggs underneath. Kind of makes sense. It's the same as any other animal or human. Get a little bit more protective when they've got young. Just pick up some of these big scallops in between them. I'm still not enjoying the seabed around here. I don't know what it is. You just get kind of a feeling when you're encompassed in it. You just get a feeling of it being a little bit horrible. One thing that I don't like is all this snot. It's been in the water for far too long now. I just don't like it. It makes a real pig when you're trying to film in it. My arms on my camera I like to keep nice and short because I've got my camera with me all the time. I can't be having big long extendable arms, so I like to keep them short. I could get rid of the backscatter of all this stuff if I put my torches further away from the lens, but for comfort and for ease, I'm going to keep it at this length. Yep, I think I've had enough of here. I think I'm going to turn around and start swimming back up into the shallows. It just doesn't feel very nice in this area. Don't know why, but it just doesn't. I know if we swim in shallower, which is in a westerly direction, we're going to come up a sandbank, or not so much a sandbank. It is a sandbank, but it's kind of very clayey and sticky and slimy. So we're going to head back that way. Here's another different variety of crab. This is a huge crab. We call them shankers in Guernsey, but they're the brown edible crab. And they burrow themselves in like this. Dig themselves down into the sand. Great design, almost like a Cornish pasty shell on them. Really interesting, to be honest. Everything under the sea looks like an alien. So we'll swim back off of that heavy, harder ground. And now we're going to come up towards this bit more, well, as you can see, shaly. And it will go a little bit sticky and slimy. Almost like a river estuary sort of seabed consistency. One thing every fisherman knows, you only get certain fish in certain areas with certain conditions. Flatfish, primarily Dover sole or the smaller of the flatfish, not so much the brill and the turbot, will be in this horrible, slimy, very dusty, thin sand. So, fingers crossed we're going to see some. You won't be able to tell this on camera. It doesn't really show very well. So I'm actually swimming up a sandbank here. Very kind of shallow one, you know, half a metre every couple of metres. But we're finding scallops here, which is good. No monsters, but that one's a bit small. No monsters, but still, scallop's a scallop. As long as it's over the minimum size, I'm sure Richard can sell it. Quick have a check on the bottom time and the depth. Been exactly 20 minutes at 22 metres. We've got 8 minutes left. Loads of air left, 150. Just over half a tank. Mish is finding the monsters there. Don't know if it's just me, but it seems the snot is reducing in the shallows as well, which is quite good. But then again, we are at slack water, so this snot isn't going to be travelling away from us. It's just going to be hanging there in the water. Doesn't make much difference when you're travelling with it, but still getting scallops, but they're really, really reduced in numbers now. That's a nice one. One thing Michelle is very, very, very good at, probably she's seen more flatfish than anyone I know. She tends to find Dover soles nearly every other dive. Look at this one. Now, this one isn't well camouflaged, but you could quite easily swim past this if you didn't know. Try and get some macro footage of him. It's a right-sided flatfish. You can see his left eye is migrated around the right-hand side of his head. And there's his little C-shaped mouth. He's got a little bit of a goatee. There's a little feelers to feel for food underneath the sand, like little worms. These can be very easy to catch. You can even grab them with your hands some days. I mean, this one we've been messing around and hanging around with him for a good couple of minutes, so he's kind of knows what we're all about. Notice how the coloration on the back as well changes. They can change the coloration on their back to the different types of seabed they're on. And randomly, they can do it quite quickly, within a couple of seconds. That Dover appeared to be pregnant. Not that you shouldn't take them when they're pregnant. Well, morally you shouldn't take them when they're pregnant or about to get rid of the roe. So we left that one. As you can probably tell, the tide is starting to pick up. I'm just under half a tank. I've probably got about a dozen, maybe 2 dozen scallops. Hopefully Richard's happy with that, because it does cost money to take divers out. Fuel is getting very expensive. Well, it's time we decided to go up. Mish has got some absolute Brahmas there. That one's huge. It's got a dustbin lid. Ideally, these are the size you'd like. If you had a load of these, the meat inside is so thick and so heavy. They're actually better, one large one's better than 3 of the smaller ones.
$19 and $17, not quite 2 dozen each. We'll get them on the next.
I'm always happy when I go diving. I'm even more happy now because we're having a, well, in my mind, having a better dive. Can't blame anyone else. It was me who chose the location on the last one. It just didn't feel very good. We're currently on Anfray. We're out on the sand at the moment, but we're heading up towards Anfray Pole on the northern side. I call it the stepping stones, or the little staircase. There's a little tiny tub gurnard. Always seem to find, well, pretty much the same size as this. As small as you see him. Couldn't film him, too quick. So as you can tell, there's a few more scallops down here. There's a lot less small ones, but there's more keepers, which is a good sign in a way. There's less in the way of these zombie crabs. There's still some here, but this side of the reef I don't seem to be holding eggs. So we're just going to swim along all these little nice sandy veiny bits and work our way up the reef. Start in the deepest part and work your way up to the shallow. Mish has found something nice to take a photograph of. And actually the sun's come out, so it feels a little bit lighter on this dive. There's a nice scallop here. Maybe too small. Ah, that's a width for my hand. It'd be alright. We're going to head down the left hand side of this reef. Then when our bottom time runs out, we can slowly come up the reef and gain a little extra time. Oh, I thought there wasn't as many crabs around this side as the other side, but we're starting to see a lot more now. Just in clumps like this, 10, 15, 20. Look at the amount of growth on their shells. They haven't molted in a long, long time. Huge barnacles on their backs. Does make him look very, very scruffy and not very appetising if you're going to catch one to eat one. Lift this little bottle up. Gives another fish a little bit of an option if it wanted to get a little home in there to have its eggs inside. This other bottle, the clear bottle in front of us, has got a little butterfly blenny in. $130 bar, just over half a tank, still looking good. So you can see here there's like a ridge of sand as we come round the corner. And some more scabby crabs everywhere. 10 minutes bottom time, we're starting to run out. But then again, you're always doing your second dive. Oh, Mish just found a male. You can tell it's a male with a longer claws. And I've just found Almond de Mer with dog whelk. Collecting these, I've got a couple in my freezer. Not quite sure if the bloke still wants them from the university, but I'll collect them. Oh, where's Mish gone? It's not good. Oh, there she is. It's weird when you're diving because you've almost got tunnel vision. They could be right alongside you. You can even be above your head and you wouldn't see them. That's why it's always good to do grab the fin and pull it when they don't know you're there. Believe me, it does get scary. It might not look like there's many scallops here because they're quite well camouflaged, to be honest. Loads and loads of small ones. This one here, hardly notice it. It's only when they open their mouth to gape you see it. Again, that's the end of that dive. That went pretty quick. I think I done slightly better on the scallops that time. There's some beasts in there as well. Let's have a look at Mish's. Mish's done alright as well. She's got some nice ones. Definitely got Richard 2 dozen.
We might fill our box up. Oh, Mish, did you get me an almond?
Is that the right one?
Yeah, those are the right ones. Only another 19 left to go. No, I got a few as well. I'm sure those are the right ones. I have to ask the bloke. There's another almond. Are those almond demands or dog whelks? I'll have to ask the bloke. Mish, GWR is Great West Rail. And that would probably say Transport Department. Shame that wasn't full. I like that. Something nice about it. Yeah. No, that one says Great Western Railway. So she's found an old one. I like that. I have to find that maker's mark. Nice. In your bongo, Mish? Alright, thanks. Thanks. I'm not going to need to gauge that one. Because that one's like Rambo. Let's get these done. Richie. Yeah. That's a box full for him. Home time.
What a gentleman, eh?
Thanks, Mish.
She's good.